stabilize already. There we go. Hey everyone, and welcome to What's Groovin'. I'm your host, Disorderly Cone. Unfortunately, the Neat-O-Matic is still out for upgrades, and my microphone stand is still broken. No worries though, we still got some really cool things to take a look at, starting with Metal Earth releasing 4 new models from the new Avatar movie. Now, if we look real closely here, we can see that we have Neytiri's Banshee. Let's take a quick little look at this. Actually, before we do, let's take a look at something else that's maybe popped up here that a lot of you maybe haven't seen before, and I know I haven't seen before, and that is that the 3 models here say that the design is not final, which means that this could be bigger, it could be smaller, it might have something different with the color, but regardless, these aren't final. So I wonder actually how much information we're going to see on these. Let's look at Neytiri's Banshee right here. So we only get 1 photo, but let's see what we can get from that. It looks like we have some thin metal here along the wings and the tail section here as well, but it does have some pretty interesting color. I do like how it has like kind of the whole yellow black kind of look to it. Looks very good to the movies as well. And if you actually have seen this before, that's because this model was actually offered in the Disney parks, just not in color, I believe. It's only been in silver. So believe it or not, you can actually get a hold of this one right now. You just have to go to eBay and pay that whole premium, which, let's face it, no one likes that. And I love that Metal Earth is releasing these models so that everyone can get a hold of them. Getting back to this model though, it does look like it will be a little bit bigger than the typical Metal Earth model, and knowing that it's also a premium series model, we can guess that too. It might be about the same size as the Game of Thrones dragon that they released. It could also be smaller, but I would imagine it's going to be about that size. Anyway, let's see what we can actually see about the details here. Yeah, we really don't get much. We do know that it's going to be a premium series model with 2 sheets at moderate difficulty, and that's really about it. But it does look pretty good, and I'm curious about how the wings are actually going to finish out there. Let's go back and take a look at another one here, the Scorpion gunship. Now, this looks awesome. I love the look of this one here. Let's take a look at the actual picture that we get. Again, we only get 1 picture, but we can see here on the tail that, yeah, we're getting more than just a single piece of metal. This is actually going to be a little bit bulkier. It's going to have 2 pieces together, which is a great detail upgrade. If you guys remember in some of the older Metal Earth models, when it came to the aviation ones, they all had just like single pieces of metal for their wings. While it looked okay, especially with the metal etching, being able to have these almost 3D kind of wings looks so much better, and I can see that they're doing that here with this Banshee. I can also see that the details that are surrounding the engines here might be difficult as well with all that ribbon detail. I'm curious if they're going to keep it that way or if they're going to change it up a little bit. The guns look pretty cool too. They're just giant rectangles with some fins attached to the back, and the cockpit area looks like it's connected with just about 3 tabs. So overall, I don't expect this one being too difficult, but let's see what the actual statistics here say. So again, premium series, 2 sheets, moderate difficulty. And again, that's all we get. So there might be more to this model. I do expect it to be a little bit more difficult than moderate, but again, it will be interesting to see how all this goes together. And you can definitely believe we're going to be building it here on the channel. Let's go take a look at another one here. This is the amp suit, and wow. Okay, we get some more pictures with this one too, but I'm actually pretty happy with that. Look at all that detail. It's absolutely amazing. It's going to be one heck of a leg day, I can tell you that. There's our side profile. We get a back look here too. We have some cylinder work here. We also have some coning in there. There's definitely a lot of detail we're going to have to work, and it looks like that cone on the left side there was kind of pushed in. I don't really nitpick too much on the details like that. This is definitely a big build to achieve, especially when it's still in a test phase. You never know how these things actually go together, so the fact that it's put together to begin with might be an achievement we don't necessarily know about. But wow, I really do like the look of this one. I'm actually pretty excited about that. Even that cockpit looks pretty cool too. It looks like it's about 4, 5, 6 tabs in total holding that one together, so we can assume that it should be pretty flush overall. It looks like they did a good job here to be able to get this put together. Let's take a look at some of the statistics, why don't we? Looking down here at the bottom, we can see again, premium series model with 2 sheets, moderate difficulty. And again, that's all we get. Hopefully we can get some more information soon, because that guy definitely looks awesome. Okay, let's go back out. Looking at the skim wing. Did I say that right? Yes, skim wing. This one here, oh wait, we got a whole bunch more details here. Okay, let's not get carried away. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's take a look at the pictures, starting off with the front view here. Now, there's one thing I have to say right away. The stands here look a lot better than they ever have before. You remember in some of the earlier Metal Earth models, especially in the Star Wars era, the stands were not very good. They were very much just kind of put there to display, and that was it. These ones here, while they are still meant for display, they definitely look a lot better, and they also function a lot better. I love how they're trying to make it look like some water and waves, and it definitely complements the model overall. I love the coloring on this. It has that whole matte look, and it also looks like it's a little thicker than our typical builds again. So that means it's more than just one piece of metal. Hopefully it's going to have a couple of pieces of metal on here. That face looks so cool too. Let's go over here and see a little bit more. The back details look awesome, and again, the whole tail fin there, tons of 3D detail here. So again, I do believe that these wings are going to be 3D. There's going to probably be at least 2 pieces of metal for each wing, at least from what I can see here so far. Let's see if I can get some verification on that. I'm going for an investigation. It looks like there's a little bit of a shadow here on the back wing, so that would tell me that either that's a coloring thing that they did, which might be the case because of that blue there on the right hand side, but it also might be where the 2 pieces are connecting together. Interesting. The other side though does look pretty thin, so maybe it is only 1 piece of metal. Interesting. I'm also not seeing anything on the wings connecting them on the ends either, so maybe it is only just 1 piece. If that's the case, it's probably because of the amount of detail and color they had to include in the piece, but still something to know. All right, that looks really cool. Now we got a good idea of what this is going to look like. Let's look at the details, why don't we? This is a premium series build. It's going to be 2 sheets, moderate difficulty, 9.7 inches in length, 8.2 inches in width, and 2.9 inches in height. So again, very similar to the dragon that we have over at the Game of Thrones side of things. And I also believe that if this is going to be the size of this one, Neytiri's Banshee is going to probably be a similar size. So keep that in mind if you're interested in these. Now, I actually haven't seen the Avatar movie in quite some time, but with a new one coming out, I should probably revisit it so I'm kind of brushed up on everything. Are you excited for the new Avatar movie? Are you looking forward to building these here? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know your take here. I'm looking to maybe build a couple of these, and knowing which ones you're interested in definitely helps me pick out what to do in the future. Okay, let's go to our next friends here. This is Piececool, and Piececool has 2 new dragons for us. One of them in gold, and the other one in kind of a brownie, reddy kind of color. Let's look at the gold one real quickly first, though. The gold one here does look pretty cool. Now, AliExpress is a little bit weird when it comes to showing off the picture, so give me one moment here as I... Okay, there we go. We got the picture nice and lined up here. We can see the golden dragon, and wow, look at that detail here. We can see a whole bunch of that front. The face is amazing. I really do like the whole silver and gold put together here. Let's see what they tell us about the size. The size is 7.95 inches in length. It's 9.5 inches in width and 6.9 inches in height. This is a pretty big build, and especially with all this detail here, I would imagine it would actually be kind of hard to do. As you can see, it's a perfect gift for a surprise of your mate. I mean, Piececool never lets us down with their marketing, because I mean, if my partner came up behind me and was like, hey, surprise, and showed me a dragon, I know I got the right one, right? I know that you would think you got the right one. But yeah, super exciting to see this. We can also see how it goes together kind of relative to your hands. And of course, this just looks absolutely amazing. I love the dragons, and being able to build a couple of more here on the channel is something that I'm looking to do. And Piececool releasing these ones makes me excited. I mean, look at that little detail there, especially along the legs. Just like, wow, look at that. I love those scales. Super cool. Let's take a look at the other dragon that they released recently. And again, these are both at the same kind of similar price range here with the $39.99. And this is, of course, Piececool's official page here on AliExpress. If you don't know, sometimes to find the newest stuff, you have to go to AliExpress to be able to find them. If you go to their home pages on their actual websites, they're a little bit slow updating those ones to the AliExpress side of things, which is interesting, but still something to know. Now, looking at this guy here, we can see, yeah, look at that detail. Incredible. I loved all that brown and red. And actually, the faces look kind of similar to each other. Just the other one with all of the gold and silver kind of really highlights some other things in the face. This one being more of a reddish brown. You don't get as much of that poppy detail from the other one. But this one has a ton more spikes on it. I love the look of this. Let's see what else they say here. Yes, so it's 7.1 inches in length. It's 11.6 inches in width. And it's 5.9 inches in height. So very similar to the other one, a little bit smaller, but again, pretty cool overall. I love the look of this one again. I just, the spikes on this is so cool. Let's see what we have here. Yes. Look how happy he is. I mean, he's not wearing a lab coat, but he's got the glasses and a tie. I mean, bow ties are always better. If you didn't know, bow ties are cool and they always remain cool. But still, he looks pretty happy to be building this. And look how big that is in comparison to him. I don't know if that's relative size. I don't think it is, but still super exciting. And I know you're excited too. Let's go to the next one here. It's 203 pieces. They're saying it's actually a 6 out of 10 difficulty. So it's really not that hard. Kind of cool to know. I would still be interested to see how all of these pieces go together. Maybe this is one we'll actually pick up here for us to see. Look at this cool little demo picture. And again, at the end, we get a look of what it comes in, which is a box. It's super interesting. It's not just a simple little DVD case that we were used to before from Piececool. This one actually is in a whole big gift set. Super cool and a really neat offering from Peicecool. Now, let's over to our friends at Crazy Toys. They got something interesting for us. This is a drum set. Now, this drum set, believe it or not, is labeled as the Rolling Stones and has some unique details that I think we haven't seen before. Taking a quick look at some of the other pictures and taking a look at the actual design, one thing I will say here is the color seems a little bit suspect. And what I mean by that is I built a throne room not too long ago, about 2 years ago actually, so maybe a little bit longer than I want to believe. But at the same time, that throne room, the coloring there was cool because it was super reflective, but over time it was super dull. And on the pictures, it looked very vibrant. Looking at this one here, we can kind of see that this picture was taken with some kind of flash, and it kind of gives you more of an idea of what you're actually going to get. That top hat looks a little bit sad, but outside of that, the drums look pretty neat. Let's see what other details we can reveal here. I love that floor. That floor looks super cool, and if you look at the drums, you can also see that the band is in there. That's a neat little detail that I don't think any other drum set we've seen so far released from any other company has had. Pretty neat stuff. Again, we get a look at the gold there. I love the gold on these drums, but I do wonder if that gold is a different brass sheet or if it's an actual coloring on the metal. It does look like it's actually going to be a brass sheet because of how much it pops out there, but until I build it, we won't really know. Actually, right now we get a look at the metal and you can see that it actually is painted. So that's super interesting. I wonder how all of this will go together. If you build this, definitely put me at the hashtag Groove Builders. I would love to show it off on the old Instagram, but also I would like to see how this would look under your lighting. But overall, it does look pretty exciting, and I would love to be able to build this Rolling Stones model. It is definitely something that I need to add to my collection because I've built a couple of band models, but all of them haven't been color. They've all been silver. So maybe I should actually build the silver drum set first before getting to a color. Let me know in the comments down below. Should I rock the color or should we go the silver first? I would love to know your opinion. Okay, now that we've looked over at Crazy Toys, let's bounce over to our friends at the Moyu store. And these guys have a couple of new butterflies for us, which have become a pretty popular item amongst all the mechanical model fans out there. I think it's because it's a nice little introduction into the hardware models. They're not too difficult, but they have that cool little steampunk-esque look to them, especially with some of the colors we get in the wings. And the Moyu store here looks like they've made it super simple for you to be able to pick out not just one butterfly, but multiple butterflies and be able to get them a little bit cheaper. As As we can see with the first one here, $59. But if we look below, we can actually get 4 of them for $200. And if we take a closer look at these guys here, they have a whole bunch of different details. It's not just the simple stuff of their wings. They actually are built a little bit different, each one of them with different kinds of gears and other bits of hardware which makes them stand out. I really do like these butterflies. When I first built the Starry Night butterfly, I was a little bit skeptical about how much I was actually going to enjoy building these kids. I mean, it's a butterfly. I'm not a huge fan of butterflies, but after I built it and while I was building it, I had a ton of fun. It's not the same as building a bull or even a tiger, but at the same time, a simple little model can give you the same kind of feeling when you've completed it, especially when it's something like this. And again, the whole steampunk aspect is super cool. I love it. And the ability to build so many different kinds of these is super interesting too. And you can just see all the different kinds here that are available. But as we go down a little bit further here, we do get into some cool stuff. This is the Scorpion gift box. Now, Scorpions become super popular again in the metal model communities because they're so much fun to build. They're actually pretty easy to do, especially when it comes to the whole mechanical model side of things. I have one here to build. It's actually a purple one. I actually started building it a little bit earlier and had to stop because of the move. But now that we're here, I should definitely get back on that one. But we also have a T-Rex to build. So let me know also in the comments below, should we go for the T-Rex or should we go for the Scorpion? The T-Rex is a smaller one. It looks like this. And the Scorpion looks like that. Let me know in the comments below. Which one should we do? Maybe we should also do a poll. That would be a good idea too. Anyway, though, looking back at the Scorpion here, we do get a good idea about what this one looks like. I love the holiday boxes. It makes a great gift if you're looking for something for like a 13-year-old all the way up to, you know, a 60 or even higher. This one here is a simple kit to be able to give anyone that's really into those whole mechanical models or is looking for something a little bit more complicated than just Lego. All right, let's scroll down a little bit further. Now, this is something that I haven't seen before and something that I did want to highlight, and also something that was posted by somebody on Instagram recently. And I actually didn't know this kit existed at all. This is the Santa Claus Village 3D metal puzzle. It looks so cool. Let me see if I can pull up this better pictures here. Okay, let me see if I can scroll in and zoom in and so you can see this. First of all, this is so cool. I think that having a metal model Santa village or even a Christmas village would be a really neat concept. So seeing Ironstar's first stab at this is really neat. Not only does it include 3D metal model pieces, but it also has plastic, wood, and a light bulb at the end to make everything really shine. I wonder if that snow is actually made on the metal itself or is something that you add on after. But look at the detail here. It looks so cool. Again, you can see some of the pieces here you get in the metal. And just going through the different details, you get an idea about how big this whole thing is. I think this is such a neat concept. I would love to see maybe a train, a post office, a bank, and all this stuff together because having a little display in my home at Christmas like this would be something I would absolutely cherish, especially because I make it myself. And I just love this. I think this is so cool. I'm excited for it. Maybe I'm geeking out over Christmas, guys, but look at this. It's 11 centimeters high, 17.5 centimeters in length, and 12 centimeters in width. And it comes in a really cool little package. I mean, that is so neat. Now, there is some difficulty with this model. It's a 7 out of 10 stars, and it is also from Ironstar, so it means the metal here might be a little bit more thinner than we're used to. But if you're willing to work through it, I think you're going to have a really neat model here. And let's see if we can actually take a look at what it looks like when it's all lit up. Yeah, look at this. That looks so awesome. It's just the little details. I love the snowman. I love Santa Claus. I love the building. This is so great. I would definitely want to get my hands on this one and build it. I probably won't be able to build it this year, but hopefully next year I'll be able to get my hands on it before Christmas time and we can build it together. I think that would be such a neat concept. And also, hopefully at that time, they'll have a couple of more of these released and I would pick those up too and we can build a whole Santa village. That would be neat. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm getting too excited about Santa. Let's move on here, back out and look at these jellyfish. Now, these jellyfish have kind of been everywhere. If you haven't seen them, I'll put a little video up right here about how they're working. Isn't that neat? Yeah, look at all those moving pieces. Now, there's a ton of different versions of this one out there, and this one here is probably one of my favorites. It has a whole smoking thing, and of course, looks like it's floating in a little tiny vial. I absolutely love it. It's a neat little model that's been replicated in the 3D printing community as well. So to be able to see it here in a neat little case, obviously it's not for everybody. This is super expensive, but it's really for somebody that's looking to elevate their collection to the next level and wants a centerpiece for their entire collection. Because this guy here will take attention from everything else in your collection. Let me tell you, this is a cool little bit of kit. Now, scrolling a little bit further down here, we also get a neat little Christmas keychain. Now, what's cool about this one is that it's not just, it's not just a little guy. It doesn't come all pre-assembled. No, this is made of a bunch of different hardware parts, just like our other chameleons and our little fish over here as well. This is a Christmas rocker keychain, and he looks awesome. I love how he has all the different metal pieces here. His guitar looks awesome. The sneakers are great. But what's really cool about this is the light here and how it lights up. I love how they have them all kind of hanging out and doing the whole stance of mightiness, hanging out on the computer there as well. It's a neat little piece and probably something we should build here on the channel soon. Maybe we can make that work. Again, we need Christmas models. And speaking of different kind of models that we need to build here on the channel, let's take a quick look at Ugears. Now, Ugears is a hard place to kind of figure out what's new because they don't just put the new thing at the top. They actually kind of label them out through the entire thing here. And one model that is at least new to me that I want to show you all is this guy down here. This is the Skywatcher table clock. Let me just pull up here and show you what it actually does. Super cool. I love this clock. This is neat. I love the incorporation of the whole gyroscope there, the ability to keep time, not just with the whole spring assembly, but the wooden mechanism in general looks fantastic. This is the kind of stuff that I love. This is the whole wooden movement thing. I love that Ugears has been able to do such a great job with all their kits, especially seeing where they've come to where they are now. They are easily one of my favorite Ukrainian puzzle companies outside of Metal Time, and that's because of how much attention to detail that they put into their kits. Now, this right here says it's 338 pieces. It's going to be 15 hours to build, so this is a big guy. But once it's complete, I think you can't argue with me, this is a really neat model and something that I was really looking forward to highlighting with you. All right, Groovers, that brings us to the end of our What's Groovin' episode, and if you guys have had a good time looking at all these kits, do me a favor. Press that like button down below. Believe it or not, and I know it's a little bit nuts, but for smaller creators like me, that really does help. It tells the algorithm that, I'm doing something right here and that you're interested in seeing it. And if you want to see cool projects and want to see more things like this, go ahead and press that subscribe button too. We got all kinds of cool projects that are coming out in the future, including ones that were featured right here on the show today, if I can ever solve the problem that's going on here. Don't worry, everything will be just fine.